morning, good morning. Just got all my levels plotted, so I'll give you a rundown of what I'm seeing. Last night, price came up above the long trigger, bounced off the long trigger up to the 61.8 fib, and we've just been chopping around there in VWAP for the rest of the night. Same thing happened on QQQ, same thing happened on NQ and ES. So right now, since we're above the long trigger and above VWAP, my bias would be longs. That being said, we have news a half hour after market open, and we have the open, which is always volatile. So we will see what happens. Stay disciplined, and let's get it. For this morning, you can see that I am locked out of my XFA on accident because I had my risk settings set to 400 or 240 bucks to liquidate and block me. I forgot to take those off when I got on this morning, so I'm locked out on the XFA for today. So got a trading combine that I'm working on. I am $510 away from half the profit target, so try to get that today and get funded tomorrow and run it up. Oh shit! Somebody on? What up, dude?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Well, shit.
What's
I
going
didn't
on?
realize you were doing some live shit.
Trying to. Whenever,
Nice.
whenever I'm not on shift, I'm gonna try to be here about a half hour before market open and stay half hour after. It's the
I
plan.
got a first this morning. I got an email from Apex, who I've been. I decided to do one more account with them a little while back because I've spent so much money on them and I want to get some of it back. Um, but I got the famous, "Hey, you're doing too good of a job. We want you to prove that you're not just
Oh yeah.
or that you're yeah."
Gotta
I just
record
went
your
through that whole
check-ins.
rigmarole this morning. Yeah.
That sucks.
So they didn't ask me to record them. They just asked me to doc, lay out my strategy and then screenshot the with it marked up at the end of the day.
Oh, okay. That's not so bad then, I
So,
guess.
no, yeah, I was when I just saw the email come in, I was like, oh shit, this is not gonna be fun. But I mean, it wouldn't really matter. They would just be getting some long ass videos because most of my trades are like 30 minutes or more.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, I mean, my strategies in all reality is 15-minute based. My entries are 2-minute based, but the overall strategy, I'm waiting for the 15 to pull back and then using the 2-minute to go long or short.
Gotcha.
So, not uncommon for two or three 15-minute candles to go by before I'm closing the position.
I'm uh, I'm usually a little faster than that. So
Well, you're also on in Q and I'm trading ES,
yeah,
so
that's fair.
speed's a little different there.
Yeah.
That used to be what I traded was in Q, but the strategy just it wasn't consistent enough on NQ.
I've thought about, since the market's been moving a lot this last week or so, that I'm just switching back to ES because, man, you can get 100-point swings in 3 minutes on NQ. So,
Oh God, I know. In Q, it's almost impossible to trade with minis, or at least for me, it was. Even with one mini, one of the trades I do would blow the account
right.
if it went wrong.
I was
So,
I was stupid this morning. I don't know if you saw it or not. I forgot to take off my risk settings from yesterday. After
oh no,
I was up like 1,500 yesterday, so I told it when I'm down like $200 to lock me out because I didn't want to lose
damn.
more than that, and I forgot to take that off this morning, so I'm locked out already this morning. But
Oh shit.
I'm I'm, I'm grinding an eval, so I'll still make some progress. So
Yeah, yeah. I've never. I only like ever once used some the settings like that when I was on the one time I tried damn it
top step.
what is that company? Yeah, Top Step.
That's
But they're
all.
so freaking expensive. I stopped using them.
Dude, they're better now. So they got rid of activation fees. So it's $89 all in for a 50K account. If you can,
Actually, okay. Well, shit, I may have to mess around with them again. We'll
yeah.
see. I didn't know.
If you pass
Yeah,
the
the
test.
activation fees were stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, when they did
I
that,
ended up passing
I
that.
was pretty excited.
Yeah, no, I mean that kind of levels them down, levels the playing field with everybody else. I didn't know that. I liked them otherwise. I've got a couple payouts from them when I had that account.
My
So,
goal is take this payout to get 5 accounts, get a payout with those 5 accounts, use that payout to get 5 on uh, Take Profit Trader, so I can take daily payouts. I hate the daily or intraday drawdown, so I just have to get through that phase on Take Profit.
yeah. Well, if you don't like that, um, they now do daily payouts as a selectable option now on Tradeify or not Tradeify. What is Brett Simba's company?
Yeah, it's
I don't
Tradify.
even remember.
Do they
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, they just added that as an option on there.
Oh, are there
You
caps
do
on
the
it?
select plan. Um, there is for the first few. I don't remember what the cap is. I think it just depends on the size account because they do 50K up to 150K.
Let me
But
see.
I don't think there's intraday drawdown on it. I'm not 100% sure on that.
Well, that might change my decision making, eh? Let's
Yeah, I
see.
mean there are differences with them. Take profit I don't know a lot about. I tried to trade with them one time and the intraday drawdown tore me apart. So
Yeah, once you get over
the only
it, once you
reason
get over that drawdown, it goes away. But then if you take your payouts every day, I mean, I probably took only like 10,000 from them last year. So, but if there's one with no
you're doing better
intraday,
than me. I've taken about actually about I've taken out exactly 11,500 from altogether from my funded futures was probably the bulk of it, and then a little bit from I don't know 2 or 3 thousand from the other one there
dude,
that you
I
use currently topped up.
I was in a bad rut for freaking years, just cycling evals. Like it can turn into like a gambling addiction and just blowing
Oh God, yeah.
evals. And I mean, I made 50,000 off Apex 1 year alone, and I was still negative that year. So it's, I mean,
Yeah.
people can lie online, so that's why I don't know if you see in my in the documents up at the top, I put that Google Doc, how to track your payout and expenses for prop firms.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm gonna put mine on there soon, so that you guys can keep me accountable of seeing if I'm actually profitable.
I'd be scared to look at what my actual expenses were. I mean, I have a general idea. I'm probably around 10,000 upside down overall.
Yeah,
Luckily, I've never gone like absolutely ape shit buying accounts. I have for like a week, once or twice, I mean, there's only so much I can afford to spend, so thank God.
yeah,
But
yeah. So I mean, if you want to use that, I mean, it'll make taxes easier too at the end of the year because you can see how much you spent. So,
I mean, it's a valid thing to look at because I've never even considered how much I spent in regards to taxes. I would imagine that could be counted as an expense. I've never even thought of it.
it does, yeah. So, I mean, I'm not a tax professional. Obviously, talk to your your accountant, but
Yeah, yeah.
from what I understand, as long as you get a payout from a firm, any evals and activation fees, anything like that, can be write-offs. So if you end negative, you could actually get money back. So
I mean that could definitely be useful because I did last year I had like my little run of making really good money for a couple months and then I forget something happened that wasn't even trading related and I blew up the accounts I was using and then after that I went like ridiculous not horrible but kind of I probably spent like 5 or 6 grand on evals for like several months trying to like
right.
just get it all back at one time.
Yep, I
But
feel you, dude. It was either 0 accounts or 20 accounts for me with Apex for a while.
yeah, I fell into that trap for a short time, but luckily I was wise enough to like for a while they were doing and this is I don't know probably more than a year ago they were doing the like 90% off and
What?
85% off sales like all the time. And so I would just, whenever they would have a sale come up, if I'd blown up, I'd buy,
Yeah,
20
get in
accounts
my
and
car.
take
Yeah,
another shot at it.
yeah. I'll come back in.
But even that gets expensive quick.
Yeah,
So
I'm on today. So
that's why this time I was like, you know what, screw it. I waited until they had the really good sale around
okay,
New Year's and freaking
sounds
got
good.
one 150K account. And that's what I'm trading right now. I've got about I think 11,200 in profit on it right now
Dude,
when
that's
I got
sick.
the email. So,
Nice.
well, I accidentally violated the 30% drawdown rule right before I went over the profit over where it turns into a 50% drawdown rule. And so they sent me an email saying I have to trade for at least 8 days, and I can't until I've taken 3 payouts. I can't use any of the money I earned previous to that day for a payout. So
Oh, really? I
then they
didn't know
sent
they
me
changed
the
that.
Well, I technically I'm assuming that means they put the account on probation. But I've a lot of guys I follow have had that happen to them. Like they'll ignore violations like that completely until they think you're at a point where you're going to start being able to really withdraw serious money, and then they'll start looking for reasons not to give it to you.
Right.
But who knows?
Opening up in 2 seconds.
Nice. Occasionally I'll take a trade right after the open, but usually not.
I'll wait at least for the first 5 minute candle. Usually I like to wait at least 15 minutes, but I'm not
Yeah.
not big on. I've just been blown too many accounts being stupid.
Well, that's the whole thing with that was one of my whole issues with NQ versus DS is a lot of times NQ will overshoot. I mean, it's probably not what it technically is, but to me that's what it is. It'll overshoot like and it'll blow through where you know where my order block like reverses first thing
Yeah,
in the morning, but it doesn't actually reverse. It'll then go completely back the opposite direction.
yeah,
And then I'll go look at ES, and ES will have had the same pullback, but did not blow the order block, and then goes the way it's supposed to. You know, so I don't know. I got stopped out a lot right before things would go the way I needed them to go on NQ,
yeah,
and ES I don't see it happen nearly as much.
yeah. The worst couple of days I've ever had. I was up. I had 20 Apex accounts. All it was actually what you're at, like $11,000 in profit. So like 220 grand total. And
Yeah.
in 2 days, I tried to trade the open both days, and I blew it all. And dude, that's life changing money. That's paying off my house, you know.
No shit. I mean, I think I always went for the really small, the $25,000 accounts when I was doing the and I was at the point of withdrawing two or three different times where I could have submitted a withdrawal that day, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna trade. I'm gonna trade a little bit bigger size because I've got some room and gone every time.
Yep.
So, of course, for me, a little bit bigger size would be like, okay, I've been trading one. Now I'm just gonna go all four in
Mm-hmm.
because I know this one trade is gonna go the way I need it to go, and that one trade is always the one that goes the wrong direction.
Right.
So,
Yeah, dude. When I get down, I have like benchmarks. If I get down 500, I switch to MNQ and I'll do a 5 MNQ instead of 1 NQ. If I get down 1,000, I'll switch to 3. you know, size
I mean,
down
it's
when
not
you
a bad idea.
size down when you lose instead of size up like I used to do.
It's not a horrible idea. I've really been trying very hard to instead of sizing down or up, just I don't care if the trade's there, I take it. If it's not there, I don't take it. And that seems to have been really helping. When I was trading with Chewy all the time, which he doesn't really stream and trade anymore. He's got other stuff going on in his life right now, but um he we talked about that many times because I would if I got a good winning trade, I'd switch to like a I'd do what damn it, I can never remember his name. I always call him Dex. Our brother there
Donnie?
does, and I would switch. Yeah, I would switch to a to a eval and trade the rest of the day or something like that.
Yeah.
And what Chewy's opinion was is he's like, look, he says number one, he says I've never seen anyone that would trade on an eval and trade exactly the way they were supposed to. They would always oh, this is a little bit riskier trade, but it's an eval. And so he says, you're building bad habits, number one, when you do it, most people, anyways. And he said, number two, he says, why are you going to, if you have the confidence to continue trading and there's still, it's still valid to continue trading in your system, why are you going to switch to an eval? Why are you not just going to trade and trade properly and, let the chips fall where they may?
Yeah. That's
So,
exactly why I do the risk settings after I get into a certain profit because I like to keep trading, but I don't want to lose what I
and
have. So
that's a good idea. That's
yeah.
100% a good idea. I mean, with me, I most of the time if I have a solid win, I'm gonna just close it and walk away because I know me. And if I had a good win, and then I say, okay, I'm just not going to give any of them today's money, or I'm not going to go any loss. I'll stop, at break even, and I'll call it a day. Well, that never happens. If once I make the money and then I lose it, then I have to get it back,
Yeah.
and then I go into a slide, and that usually ends with no account. So
We got some pretty good divergence on here right now. I don't know what all you watch
yeah, this is
against,
a
but
weird open.
yeah.
There's zero movement on this open
Well, for
comparatively.
ES, NQ's down pretty good. But
That's always interesting to me because I've always looked for like a pattern, like, oh God, if ES is what, or if NQ is having this big move and ES is not following, is ES eventually going to follow, or is NQ eventually going to come back? And it seems pretty random.
right.
I've never been able to get a read on it.
NQ is almost to 600, which is right at the long trigger, which I really like because it's a whole number, it's a psych number, and it's at the long trigger. But I have to see confluence with ES there, and so we'll see.
Yeah, ES has started to pull back, but still hasn't gone below the low a day.
I'm kind of anticipating just some chop until the news drops at half hour after open. What is it's PCE price? I don't know what that is. Consumer spending.
That might move a little. Yeah, that might move a little. It's just the consumer spending index, I think, basically.
Yeah.
I've really been trying to work on kind of nailing down some things with my system, though. Like one of the big reasons Chewy, he made a huge change to the system, like almost completely gutted and redid the system last year. And the new way he does it works for him, but I can't make it work. And I went back and I looked, and the whole reason he like updated the system he um was because he noticed this phenomenon, especially on NQ, but I still see it on ES, where the market would there'd be a directional setup, right, and it would come down, and it would the it would wick out the bottom of the order block, which invalidates the trade in his original system.
Mm-hmm.
And then it would immediately turn around without ever closing below and go the direction he wanted it to. So I literally just added that to my rules that, especially on the 15-minute, it has to close below the order block for it to change my directional thinking. And it has really worked out well. Like I use wicks I count for certain things, but if it's if I got a hard line or a stop, I don't I don't think I can't even, it makes it hard to use a hard stop, but I've gotten used to that. If it goes below and closes below where I consider as my stop, then I get out.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, then it's still valid.
I don't hate the ideas of longs down here, but I wanted to get in at VWAP and I was looking away from the computer, so
Yeah. ES is already back up almost to highs.
yeah.
So there definitely wasn't an entry for me.
Yeah, I missed mine. I would have got in 30 points ago, so
Yeah, I'm still trying to get used to this thing of using the couple of EMAs for potential entries, because I did notice, because I've always kind of kept EMAs on my chart, or most of the time anyways. And I've noticed that a lot of times if the EMAs are somewhere around the middle of the order block, the price will come back. There'll be a setup for me, but the setup will have a pretty high entry,
mm-hmm.
with a substantial risk. But a lot of times it'll come down, and volume will show up at the EMAs or VWAP, and then it'll go back up. So I'm trying to
I
kind
use
of integrate that into my system.
I like using the 21 EMA in conjunction with VWAP, and whenever those line up, it seems to give some good strength. So
Yeah, yeah. I've fucked around a lot with the EMAs. Right now, I've got like these fucking jacked up settings on it. What do I got them at? I got one
well, those longs would have worked.
EMA. Nope, let's do that. Yeah, they would have. 100%. One of them is 200 on the 1 minute, which I don't really like. I'm gonna change that soon. The other one is 200 on the 5 minute. So, and that one seems to be pretty fucking strong.
I typically always look at 5 minute. Every now and then I'll switch to 15, but 5 minute is what I found to work best for my system.
I really need to change. I'm gonna have to. I've been using the standard EMAs that they have that we can use on TradingView, but the standard ones don't allow me to anchor them to the daily time frame, and that's how I want to do it, is anchor them to the daily time frame. So I need to find different ones to use.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's just some days the EMAs are completely useless for me if they're not anchored to the daily time frame. Because you'll have a big movement one day and then they'll be like way off.
It says the Dex is online. It's just not here.
Yeah.
Freaking guy.
Oh, fuck is he doing?
So
Actually, they just extended their sale. They're doing they got a 40% off sale on that new plan because that's new for Tradeify, that plan where you can do the daily
I was just
payouts.
I was just looking at their website. I was trying to find if there's.
They've got a 30% off on the website, but if you use TDY, just all caps TDY, they've got 40% off
Where
right now.
which account is it? Is it the
It's the select one. It's
select?
any of the sizes. That's the only one you can get the daily payouts on.
Gotcha. So let's see.
Their other plans don't have daily.
Max payout is $1,000 a day for daily, and how many can you have?
Don't know. I hadn't looked that far. I usually just go through weekly because I don't make enough money on a daily basis for daily payouts to really matter for me.
We'll have to check them out.
Yeah.
We'll have to see. Maybe I'll. I mean, I like take profit.
I don't know how
Sends
many they
them.
allow. They may not allow five. They may allow less than 5 accounts. It might be like 3 or something. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'll have to look it
Or
up.
maybe it was 5. I don't know.
I do like take profit. They send the money like quick. Like I get it same day sometimes.
Well, Tradeify. That's one thing I do know about Tradeify because I got a couple of buddies that use them and cash out regularly. Usually you have it from them within like about 5-10 minutes
Oh really?
of submitting. Yeah, they're like that's like their whole thing is that your payouts are basically instant.
Huh.
It's all automated. Their automated system handles it. They don't go in and look and see that you're trading right or any of that crap.
I'm considering longs here in a minute. We're almost at VWAP on NQ and
I would need a lot
SPY.
more of a pullback on
SPY is
SPY.
almost at VWAP and SPX almost is at the 61.8. So I'm not in anything yet, but I'm considering.
See, ES SPY might be almost at VWAP, but ES is not.
Yeah.
Not even close. It's like halfway to VWAP from the top. But it is coming up on my 201 minute, but I don't really trust that one right now.
I've got an order set down at 45. See, oop, it just hit it, so I'm in one long.
Nice.
Oh, hey, whoa,
Ooh,
watch yourself.
shit. ES just popped down hard.
Gonna set my
Straight down to
stop
VWAP.
loss.
ES is sitting on VWAP. That's where it went down to. But that's a big can. That's already got a lot of volume on it for the 2 minute time frame,
Yeah, it
anyways.
does. I got my stop loss set pretty short here, so I won't lose too much if I.
That's something I've really got to pay attention to. The very first trading I ever did was almost entirely volume based. And then I kind of got away from it, and it is extremely useful. I forget, like yesterday, honestly, if I'd have been looking at the volume, I probably would have waited a little bit longer on my entry. Waited for the volume to die off, because usually you'll see that huge peak when it's going down. Anyways, you'll see that huge peak
I just made 500
of
right there.
selling volume.
Nice.
You made nice, very
I
nice.
got $20 left for 50% on my eval, so I'm gonna switch to MNQ and get that last $20.
Nice. Ugh.
Yeah, that pop down kind of scared me, so I immediately put my stop
Oh
loss
yeah.
right underneath that. But I have screen share open if you want to look. Why it didn't scare me too bad.
Oh, let's see. Oh no.
You on there?
Yep.
So right here is the long trigger of NQ, and it pretty much came down to that. And then ES, like you said, hit VWAP, so strong strength on both of
And
those right there to
bounced.
bounce back up.
Yeah.
So I had my order like right here, and it got hit, and then got my 500 there. So
Yeah. That's something I always struggle with. I've never been able to completely move away from using the 5 minute because I feel like the 5 minute is by far the best volume indicator.
yeah, yeah.
And I think 15 minutes a better volume indicator, where the problem is a lot of times the single candle is the entire movement in the 15 minute.
I actually don't mind more longs here if we get above VWAP, but I'm not in anything right now. I just want to get that last 20 bucks, but I'm not going to rush it.
My issue here is the order block is really small, which for me indicates that it's weak.
You know, I don't really pay attention to the time and sales much. I probably should.
What do you mean time and sales?
The order blocks, it's, yeah, kind of same thing. The tape.
Oh no, I'm not talking about that order. I don't mean that kind of order block. So you've seen on my chart where I have the white blocks, literally a block shape marked that shows like a area of congestion almost before a move. For me, when I say order block, that's what I'm talking
Oh, I
about. Like
gotcha.
for instance, I'm gonna screenshot this for you so you can see it.
See if I can. I don't actually know how to watch screen share.
Oh no, I'm
Oh,
just
you're
gonna
gonna screenshot.
I'm literally screenshot it and gonna send the photo
I
or
gotcha.
post the photo for you. Let's see. Yeah, I wouldn't even know how to share my screen in all honesty.
All right, we are back
Let's
down at the
see.
long trigger. Almost.
What am I looking for here?
I'm gonna put just a
Just gonna start up my trading
order of
floor.
3 MNQs down there, and if we hit it, get my 20 bucks.
That white block is my order block, and that is a very small order block for the 15-minute time frame.
Oh, okay. Are you doing like
Normally,
ICT strategies or?
this single part of it is similar to that. Um, because like I'll mark that block, and then basically I'm hoping it goes a ways above that block, and then comes back into the block, and then I look
All
for
right, I
my
just got in
triggers to
3
happen.
MNQs, and
I'll be honest, I don't like the price action this morning at all.
it's
And actually, it just technically wicked my order block, which is okay. That's not a big deal. So with it wicking my order block, I have to almost take a step back
mm-hmm.
and look to wait to see if it's going to close. Because if the 15 closes under, then I have to reverse my order block. If it doesn't, sometimes the best entries though for me, best money making entries are when it looks like it's about to close underneath the block, but then it pops back up and it forms
Yeah, I got stopped.
that that 2 minute order block that's going against the 15, and then it breaks back. But like in this case, I don't see that happening. But that was a huge weakness with Chewy's system. So his favorite entries were right here. Like the second it wicked out the order block, he would go short or long, whichever it was, and he would go with size whenever it did that because
Mm-hmm.
he would be looking for a very fast movement that was approximately the size of the order block. And when it worked out, it was great. But there was just a lot of fucking times where it'd wick it out, he'd enter, and it would go completely back the opposite direction.
Sure.
I lost so many fucking accounts that way. So I don't even touch it when it does this. I'll wait until the 15-minute closes, set my new order block, and then wait for the same trade I always take.
We're almost to support on ES and QQQ, but this is a big red candle. Not a whole lot of volume on it, but.
Yeah, let's just say today there's like no volume today. I don't know why, but maybe because that big move yesterday it might just be a nothing day. I could completely see that. I used to try and use the what do they call that? The pivot points tool
I got it.
that everybody likes so much.
I got my 1500.
And oh nice.
Check this out. This is like just.
I've still got your screen share up in the corner.
Oh, do you? So, yeah, right
Yeah,
there. It hit that long trigger and the log trigger there. Just a perfect little bounce there, and I scalped it for the last $100 or whatever it was.
nice.
So,
Nice.
got my 1500 for the day and done trading. I always make sure at the
I
end of the
like
day,
it.
because I am stupid, to go back on NQ and MNQ and cancel all orders because I don't want to leave anything open.
Oh, I'm so fucking paranoid about that. I've lost a couple of accounts that way. Not even the next day or anything, just, super excited. Got my big win, forget to close out my fucking stops and account gone.
Yep.
Oh, that's why in the back of every trader's mind, you wonder if the market's coming for you and you alone. You know it's not, but
Right.
damn it, sometimes it feels like it is. Sometimes it just feels personal. Oh well. See, this is something I've been trying to work out in my system though. So like when those tiny 15-minute order blocks, I mean that's a tiny one. I'm gonna show you another, the previous one I had marked just so you can see how tiny that is for what I normally mark.
Uh-huh.
I have this like fight in me that says if they're that small, I should consider not marking them as an order block because I know that they almost never survive a pullback. But this, for instance, is what these. Here's two. I don't ever remove them. I just like change them to a different setting so they're not as visible.
So did
So
you
this
do
is the
your order
previous
blocks
two.
based off previous highs and lows pre-market? It looks like, or
Yes, a
yeah.
check mark. Well, I do them period, like not pre-market. It doesn't matter if they're pre-market or not. Um, that's one of the reasons is I only chart on the futures because they're in pre-market on anything else is not really
Dude, look at that perfect bounce from.
weird.
That's what are we at? 60 points so far on that. Jeez.
All right, here you go. So you see how tiny that order block is there up top.
Yep.
Yeah, that's like because there is a huge argument when you're marking these, and you always call them order blocks. I don't know what they're really referred to as, but there's a huge argument with that, even in people that don't trade the exact system that I do, that if an order block is visible, but it's really small compared to what the size they normally are, that maybe it's not actually an order, shouldn't actually be an order block on that time frame. Maybe it's an order block on a smaller time frame.
Mm-hmm.
And Chewy struggled with that all the time because these little ones they would get chotched. He called it chotched, when they get run through. Um, and it's like, is it really even worth drawing ones that are that small?
Sure. Yeah, that's
Because like if I
in
was
general.
still
If you
counting the larger one, I would right now be looking for. I would very strongly be looking for a long at this point.
that's like generally that's why I don't. 5 minutes the smallest I look at because the bigger time frames and the bigger you plot, the bigger EMA, bigger stuff like that, the bigger moves are going to happen off those, not the smaller ones. And I'd rather look at those and wait for those than the small. You know.
Well, and that's why the small ones I don't really plot them. Like I'll plot one back just so that I don't forget where my entry should be at. Um, like the 2 minute, I usually chart it with a purple one so I don't confuse it with anything else. Because like that way, if I'm gone from the market for a few minutes, I can see, okay, it broke the order block back to the downside, and now I can start looking for an order block to form pointing to the downside, which is where my entry comes in. If that order block breaks. So, but I'm also very tempted, depending on how the EMA and trading off of the using the order blocks for direction and then trading off of the EMAs might mostly replace that in the future. We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Because like right now, if my only potential entry was the 2 minute breaking back to the upside, my entry would be at the high of day, and that's not a good place to be entering.
Dude, I wish I didn't lock out my freaking XFA. That was a great bounce. Stupid.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Yeah, live to trade another day. It's all right.
Yeah, I'm not super excited about anything I'm seeing right now. A lot of times that means if I come back for like the after 12 o'clock session, they're if the first session was crappy, they'll be there'll be a good second half of the session.